Warning, the following podcast contains adult themes and explicit language. If you are a gimp, do not listen. Unless you are an actual gimp, in which case, do as you're told.
Hello and welcome to the Between Two Fuds podcast, the home of your weekend, on this Monday night.
Paul, I don't know if we should use that.
How?
Well, it doesn't really make sense.
Oh, for fuck...
Hello, you dirty fucking rides, and welcome to Between Two Fuds. I am sick as a dog.
And I've got a migraine.
And together... Sorry. So, this is it. Okay, episode 4, Paul.
Is it?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Aye, that's right, aye, 4.
Yeah.
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture. We've got the 3 comedy ones out the way.
Aye.
Now we get to the...
We've reverted back to something we spoke about in episode 1, so it's quite obvious that we're running out of ideas.
Yeah, that's true. Aye, but cancel culture, it's comedy's kryptonite, is what it is.
Yeah.
And it was a marathon, because you've seen it, it's been going on for ages. Like, people have been getting cancelled for... So, some people deserve to be cancelled, right? I don't think that's really what they mean by cancel culture. I think cancel culture is the idea of deplatforming anyone who disagrees with what you say.
Aye, no matter what you say, there's always going to be people looking for something to complain about it.
With pink hair and mean tweets. You know, that fucking brigade.
Cancelled.
Yeah, cancelled. I mean, I can hear the outrage now. Can you believe James Grant was on there? And what's wrong with pink hair?
That's right, wait.
Well, that's true.
That should be cancelled there and then.
Aye, absolutely. But let's not fuck about. Monologue! I would like to begin.
Thank you!
Dickhead! You kidding me on, guys? I'm trying to...
You shouldn't be given a platform. Get rid of him.
Get the fuck right.
Off!
Baldy
wanker!
Off! Unbelievable. Hang on, wait there, guys.
My hair's pink.
Right. Cancel culture is an interesting thing. A vox minoritas seeks to bring to bear the little leverage it has by making as much noise as humanly possible, on the basis of hurt feelings, perceived slights, and the belief that other people shouldn't be happy because you don't like them. It is the social media equivalent of going, it's my ball, and I'm going home. Except it's not your ball. It's not even a ball at all. It's usually someone's career. And you don't have a home, because nobody likes you. Nobody except your band of merry yes men you share the echo chamber with. Swarming like hornets outside the residence or place of work of the latest person to speak too loudly or to speak out of line with your cult. Have a kebab, live your life, and shut the fuck up. Now that's not to say that some cancelling we've seen was not well deserved. Plenty of cancelling was perfectly justified. People like the magician David Copperfield, who allegedly made something disappear somewhere it shouldn't and pulled more than a rabbit out of his hat. Or the Motley Crue drummer, Tommy Lee, who was arrested for indecent exposure when he flashed a crowd on stage. Or the most deserved cancelling of all, barbecue rib flavoured Walker's Crisps, for indecently exposing our taste buds to that manky flavouring that you couldn't get off of your fingers with petrol and a fucking blowtorch. But back to what I was saying about frivolous cancel culture. It is banal, it devalues any valid points you make, and it is getting in the way of genuine discourse. I will put it this way. Your opinion is like an orgasm. I don't care if you have one, so long as it's not right in my face. You can have your orgasm in public if you so choose, and I am delighted that you feel empowered to do so. However, other people can have orgasms too. And if they congregate in private to enjoy an orgasm, and it doesn't look the same as yours, you are under no obligation to spectate or decide that they shouldn't be allowed to orgasm because you don't enjoy it. Nor should they lose their jobs because you overheard their orgasm and disagree with it. Everyone is entitled to their orgasm, and the existence of theirs does not devalue yours. As the saying goes, come one, come all. Now, before my door is broken down and I am live streamed being lifted onto a pyre made of old copies of The Telegraph and signs from butchers' windows to the sound of cloven hooves and finger-snappy tweets being posted about me under hashtag death to Jim, I will extend an olive branch. I believe we can all find understanding for one another. I believe there is a middle ground we can reach so we can live in harmony. I truly believe that we can join as one, with the fire of humanity within us, united by our mutual hatred of Bono. Why does a man so dull need sunglasses like that? We thought the Irish pork crisis of 2008 was bad, but not willing to allow anyone to dull his sparkle, Bono took it upon himself to one-up the Irish government and unleash his festering album on an unsuspecting global population. They say Bono got his inspiration from Jesus, and that's how he wrote, "Sometimes you can't make it on your own." You'll never get that last nail in by yourself, Chief. But if you and your master race of fire-breathing fuckwits must put me onto a pyre and set me ablaze, don't build it too high, or I'll get vertigo. Scatter my ashes somewhere the streets have no name, because I can't live with or without you. Goodbye.
So with cancel culture, we've obviously had a number of big name celebrities cancelled over the past few years. We mentioned it a wee bit last time. Will Smith.
No, sorry, we won't.
Let's not do that again. Aye, we done that a good few times last time as well.
Yeah.
But I would say rightly so that Will Smith was cancelled, and even then he still got off lightly.
I would agree. But not as lightly as Jada, though.
No.
Because there was like an interview she did where she was like, honestly, I don't even care what people think about my bald head. You're like, yo, tell that to Will.
I know.
Why didn't you didn't think to mention that? That whole thing was suspect, man. He was laughing at the start.
He did, he started laughing as soon as Chris Rock said it, he was laughing.
Yeah.
Looked at his wife, and all she done was roll her eyes.
Aye.
And then he was like, I don't know, fucking sleeper agent activate.
Aye. Started squinting his eyes. Must have been the glare. At least he had plenty of time to reflect. I know, dreadful. Now, one distinction I like to highlight, because I think a lot of people get confused, is that cancel culture is a very specific, very malevolent set of behaviours, right? Yeah. It's not to be confused with people who are removed from the public eye or, cancelled because of the likes of genuine misconduct where they deserve
offences.
That. Yeah. I mean, if you look at like the Me Too movement from what that kind of spawned.
Hashtag me and all.
Yeah. Hashtag the me and all movement. Like Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
That man was cancelled. That man was cancelled back in time.
Yeah.
He is, because he didn't face any criminal charges. I don't think he was ever charged with anything.
Surprisingly.
Right? But that doesn't mean he got off with it. No. They used CGI to bring him out of a movie he had already made. If that is not being fucking cancelled, I don't know what is. But Kevin Spacey, was he not, like, because he did, like, he was involved in, it wasn't just movies, it was in pantomimes as well, wasn't he?
Pantomimes?
Aye.
I think you'll find he was the artistic director of the Old Vic Theatre. James.
I'm sure the Old Vic had a pantomime on from time to time.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So I'm sure. No, do you know what? Can you imagine if he did do pantomimes and he's up in court and they're like, Kevin, here are the charges that you stand accused of. Did you do these things? Oh no, I didn't.
The jury. Oh yes, you did.
The judges are like, order
in the court. But you did.
But if we can be serious, because, so cancel culture doesn't really refer to those. It does kind of target more people who have been cancelled for frivolous reasons, like people just look for stupid reasons to cancel folk.
Yeah.
I heard a guy on the Joe Rogan Experience, Nimesh Patel, his name is. He's an Indian American, right? He's a comedian. He writes for Saturday Night Live, right? He was on and he was talking about how he went and did like a comedy show at a university, a college in America, which they're really the breeding grounds for cancel culture. That's where it all seems to stem from. If you watch like the news or keep up with pop culture, and he get cancelled for telling this joke about gay people, and the joke, if you listen to it and understand it, actually is in favour of gay people, and it's defending folk and speaking up for the LGBT, so on and so forth movement.
Right, are you going to say the joke?
I'm going to get there, aye. So he said,
Say it. Say the joke.
He said, here's how I know that being gay is not a choice. Because there are gay black people. And no black man in America has ever woken up one day and gone, do you know what? This shit's too easy. Let's fucking double down.
I don't think you should have said that. That's too much.
That's a great joke, right? And if you listen to it, that joke is coming out in favour of gay people. It's defending people against the notion that you can pray the gay away. Isn't that insane?
That is a bit, aye.
Conversion therapy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he get cancelled. People were outraged by that, and they actually stopped him like halfway through his set and said, "Yeah, that joke. We don't like that. You should leave." And he's like, "But I'm literally here helping you people."
You people.
You people.
You people.
Those were his words, not mine. But yeah, so he was cancelled by the very people he was sticking up for. Not for very long, right enough, because once news kind of broke of the story, I think, that there was a global eye roll. But whatever happened, it seems to have gone in his favour, because he is still writing for Saturday Night Live. You know what I mean? That's like the number one spot.
I still never heard of him. So,
yeah. So we're going to try something new in this episode. Stuff we haven't really, a format we haven't really done before. We're going to take a look at some headlines and just kind of see that. What do you think? Have you seen?
Well, you've got a couple of wee headlines, don't you? Like, you only really see them if you raise your eyebrows, but
fuck off, man. I'm wrinkling.
That's right.
Yeah. So do you have any headlines that you've seen?
I've seen a few. I've seen a couple. I've seen one. I've seen a weird one.
Right.
It was, what was it? Something along the lines of scientists say, or someone says they don't want to name this new species that's been discovered after celebrities in case those celebrities are cancelled.
Oh, God.
And I was thinking that's quite a nonchalant way of telling us that there's a new species been discovered. Mm-hmm. Should that not have been a headline first of all?
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah. Is nonchalant the right term there? Is that right?
Nonchalant, yeah. Kind of like just nice casual, slip it in there.
Yeah. Found an alien. Let's not call it Kevin Spacey or nothing. Kevin Spacey! Didn't even meet that.
Oh, you did.
No, never.
Did. Right, so they're saying that you... I mean, that's I suppose it's future-proofing things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But don't name it after dodgy celebrities.
Aye, do you know what I mean? We're still recovering for the Hitlersaurus Rex. The Hitlerpotamus, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fucking dire, man. Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
Ah, good.
Fucking disgusting.
But let's be real for a second, though, and I'm going to get quite energetic here because it does kind of get to me a little bit.
What does?
The whole cancel culture thing, because, right, see, you don't like what someone has to say. Mm-hmm. That is, unless they're broken the law or they're inciting hatred or violence, right, that's fine. That's a difference of opinion, and that is all that is. Uh-huh. And you have no right to try and, take their career from them. Or not even that, let's look at it another way. Who the fuck are you to tell me that because you don't like what someone says, I have to agree with you? I then can't go and see them. You're going to go and take it off of me? Yeah. Man, fuck you.
True, I know.
I like Dave Chappelle, you cunt. Have you seen that stuff, mate?
About Dave Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle.
Aye.
I mean, I watched his last special, The Closer, and that is something, right?
The Netflix one?
Netflix, aye. Yeah, aye. But if you watch the three of them, Sticks and Stones, something else, and then The Closer was the last one, they're brilliant. He's a master of comedy. The man is fantastic.
Yeah.
And if you don't like his jokes, you have no obligation to go and watch it. And just because he tells jokes about a certain subject on stage doesn't mean that he is out to get anyone or any sort of group of people. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that should be protected when it comes to comedy. You should be allowed to say what you want within the law. That is right. So no hate speech, no inciting hatred, no inciting violence, that kind of stuff. Anything else, nothing should be safe or above mockery, ever.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't really mockery, but that joke that got him in all that bother, that was like outright just
Mockery, aye.
slagging them.
But then you see that guy went and charged them on stage not that long ago.
Aye, with the fake gun and knife or something
Yeah.
they had in his pocket.
And apparently that wasn't even related to his. That wasn't related to the jokes of the special.
No.
No. The guy was unwell. The guy was mentally
really?
ill, and I'm paraphrasing because I only read it once. I didn't get a good read of the article. The guy's mum was unwell, and that's why he like charged the stage to try and raise awareness of it.
All right, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, but they're in the process of cancelling Dave now. So I think it's because that got quite heavy there. I think it's
Be any day now.
I think it's I think it's safe to say we won't be seeing any Dave Chappelle elephants named in the future. I had to lighten up a wee bit there because I did get quite deep.
Yeah.
So, next headline we have: self-cancelling is a great way to boost your profile. Just ask John Cleese. If you try but still can't get cancelled, then just cancel yourself. Your career will thank you for it. Now, this article actually relates to a tweet that John Cleese put out himself, right? Did you see it?
I've not seen it,
No.
until we just read that article like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah. So there was an art historian, right, who in a debate impersonated Hitler and then was essentially cancelled, blacklisted because of it, right? So what John Cleese has done is gone, well, listen, I impersonated Hitler as part of Monty Python decades and decades ago. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to blacklist myself before someone else does.
Right. And he did. Before an event. Like the day of an event.
Something like that, like right before the event, he pulled out of it, said, no, I'm cancelled, see you later.
Do you think that was an attempt, like, to try and gain the respect of of the people that would have cancelled him?
See, I don't know if it's that or if it's just
Is he trying to be...
the guy's like...
Is he trying to get wide?
Yeah, I think that may be it. I think it may be John Cleese kind of going in the huff.
Yeah.
Going, if this is what you're doing, I don't care.
I just think he just couldn't be bothered showing up for his
Maybe,
event.
maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was in Cambridge. Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Aye. I mean...
I've always thought he was an Oxford man himself, wasn't he?
Yeah. I don't really want to get into, the sectarian debate, really.
Sectarian debate?
Do you know what I mean? You've got the Cambridge Ultras. You've got
The ODL, the Oxford Defence League.
Yeah, somebody scores a goal in an Oxford versus Cambridge match, you can't see for all the bowler hats up in the fucking air. What a weird neck of the country that is.
Yeah. I've never been right enough, but...
Yeah, if I was John Cleese, I'd probably cancel myself as well. Stick on Holmes Under the Hammer or something.
Yeah. Aye. And something we've actually not mentioned at all, which is quite surprising over the past few weeks, is the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing that's going on. Mm-hmm. Apparently, there's some things going on about it.
Objection. Hearsay.
It was your own fucking question.
Man, that trial is fucking bananas.
It is, isn't it? Like, every day there's something new and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I seen someone put
My dog stepped on a bee!
I've seen a TikTok about that just recently. Or they're just following it up with like taking a piss at her.
Yeah.
I drank a cup of tea. I've got HIV. No, do you know what? Maybe not.
I really need a sneeze. These are getting worse and worse.
They're getting worse and worse, aren't they? I mean, that's us cancelled.
But anyway, Johnny Depp was cancelled from Disney. And now I think they're wanting to backtrack. And Johnny Depp saying, no, you can fuck off.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what I've gotten from the whole fiasco.
Yeah. He used to play Captain Jack Sparrow. Spyro. That was a good game. He used to play Captain Jack Sparrow.
He did.
And now he Disney.
Nice.
Thank you. No, the trial is fucking, it's insane, man. Yeah, because people, like, he get dropped by so many different things over what was or what is turning out to be pretty hollow information. The only ones who didn't drop him, I think, were
the Sun.
Oh no, the Son of kind of they've kept
all right. Sorry, I thought you were talking.
No, I'm saying the only people who didn't, dust them, get rid of them, was Dior.
Aye, the aftershave.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah. For a really punchy scent. Dior Sauvage. Imagine somebody shiting in your pillow.
Hold on, give me a wee second. I'm just trying to imagine it.
Well, we both get cats, do you know what I mean? So it has happened at some point. I mean,
Not to me, no.
is it not?
No.
Lucky
Is that
you.
what that is in the side of your head?
Yeah.
Right.
Brilliant, mate. Absolutely dynamite.
I completely forgot that was a thing that she actually shat on his bed.
I know. So what we discovered through the trial is that Amber Heard is basically a cat.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
Like sticking, like she's fucking walking through the house, like knocking things off her surfaces, shiting in your pillow.
She'll be drinking at the toilet bowl next. I think all this stemmed fade, like, I think, was it however long ago it was that was just fucking Johnny Depp just forgot to fill up her bowl one day and she went absolutely mental.
I wanted Felix, you swine.
She didn't like that cheap shit for Sainsbury's.
Yeah.
We'll go for Pirates of the Caribbean straight into Harry Potter. What about J.K. Rowling these days?
Aye.
She got fucking Wingardium Leviosa, didn't she?
She got Damnatio Memoriae is what she got. She has been stricken from the history books.
I don't know that spell.
No.
Must have missed that book.
Well, it's effective, is what it is. But yeah, J.K. Rowling, aye, she got a kicking, right? And what it all stemmed from initially, if I'm remembering this correctly, is she took issue with the phrase "people who menstruate." She said there is a word for people who menstruate, and that is women. Now, I think that point of view by itself is not the hardest of hardline views to take, right? Because that's the biological females menstruate, whatever, that's kettle of fish. But once she said that, Twitter went mental, right? And she was pressed on the issue, and that's where it went off-road, right? It's like when you get your granddad pissed at Christmas and ask his opinion on corner shops. You know what I mean?
Would that not make us enablers then?
That's it. But that's episode 5, elderly abuse. But yeah, no, it's wild. And then she'd like a back and forth. And I haven't read all the tweets, right?
Aye.
You know, because like after a few, you're like, jeez, oh man,
Yeah.
Jesus, phone him a taxi, Grandad, you're all right, you're all right. Yeah, so what happened to her is kind of quite similar to what happened to Kevin Spacey. When I say Damnatio Memoriae, she was like taken out of everything.
Yeah.
Still her books and stuff, right? But she has been removed from every appearance. All of that, even the stars, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Hingy, and the ginger one, they all spoke out. They all kind of condemned her views, and spoke out in favour of trans people.
Just about all of them did.
Yeah,
They were in it, right enough.
Crazy stuff. So that's what I mean when I'm saying she's similar to Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey got retrospectively not cast for a movie, which is the most impressive use of like cancelling I've ever seen. Right. Do you know what I mean? Because you know someone had to sit there frame by frame on Microsoft Paint going over his face. She's still making money though. Like she still makes all the money for the books, right? And I suppose it's her property and stuff. But in terms of future appearances, so on and so forth, she's
done,
dead. She's gone from official records, aye. And then that's the use of cancel culture in situations where that's potentially justified, right? But what we spoke about earlier on was what we mentioned in the first episode, what's it called? Cancel Karen Dunbar.
The Karen Dunbar documentary.
Where she goes through and she talks about things you wouldn't have got away with previously, or things you got away with back then that wouldn't be allowed now because society has moved on and kind of become more, the term woke is fine, but I think just more aware.
Yeah.
And a bit more
sensitive to people's feelings.
It's like those people were always out there before though. It's just we've become more connected with the likes of the internet. You've got all the social media, the Silicon Valley bosses decide who gets cancelled, according to Nadine Dorries. And I think there's merit in that one as well. But if you control the information, you get to control what people see, what people hear. You can influence people's thinking. Cambridge Analytica, Oxford Analytica would never do that.
Don't mention they bastards.
Well, they bastards for Oxford.
They bastards for Oxford.
They bastard English. Now I bring that up. I've got nothing but love for English people myself, right? Until we face them in the Euros, right? But that's by the by. Now, the reason I bring that particular one up, did you ever see that show, Absolutely?
bits. I've seen bits. I've never actually sat down and watched a whole episode, but I've seen bits of it.
See, I'm leading into this now because we're talking about jokes. We spoke previously in the first episode about jokes that they got away with years ago that you probably wouldn't be as funny now, or wouldn't be getting away with them now. And that show, absolutely. They've got that character. He's like this ultra patriotic Scottish guy, the groundskeeper Willie-esque kind of character. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Aye,
You know, and everything he ends with. If it wasn't for the bastard English, you know. See if it wasn't. Do you know what you'd be sitting on if it wasn't for the Scots? Your arse. We invented the chair. And then the bastard English came and took it, and then. You know, and he goes on this tirade about it, and then he says, we invented England. We took everybody we didn't like, and we sent them down there, built a wall, showed up every now and again to kick their arse. And I think there's a lot of Scottish people who still kind of feel that way.
Aye, yeah. Definitely.
45% of us, apparently. But, yeah, so the character's funny, right? The character's funny. The stuff he says is... You know, there's no two ways about it. It's pretty much racist, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I can find that funny as a Scottish person, right? Well, you probably wouldn't get away with that now. It's not that funny. And, you know, the modern day, a lot of people probably wouldn't appreciate it that much. I find it quite funny as a Scottish person. Because I can take a fucking joke, right? But no, the kind of... That character has been done in so many different ways. I mentioned the groundskeeper Willie, right?
Yeah.
The overplayed extra Scottish person, and I think it's because there is a degree of truth in it. You know, there's more. I say a degree, and like more degrees. Nah, do you know what?
Even when you were talking about the other week with Mike Myers, he's played that character a couple of times, like the outright Scottish guy.
Aye, true. Like the raging Scottish dad. Comes across me, or Shrek even.
Aye.
He's not a raging Scottish. Like, why doesn't Ogre have to be Scottish? Is that not just like
an English person's decision?
It's an English person's decision. The bastard English, they've done us again. Right, so there's that. There's another one where he's like, he's doing like radio presenting or something, and then he just ends up going off on a tirade. And his producer's screaming down the line at him, and he's like, stuff you, and goes on it. But I think that argument is one that's overplayed by a lot of people who want to just be like, back in my dayism.
Yeah.
You know? And while there are a lot of McGlashan that maybe wouldn't make the cut, he's on the line, I think. He would certainly get the Scottish vote, because again, Scottish people can laugh at themselves, and we are very good at that. When you're shite at every sport known to man, you have to learn to laugh at yourself, otherwise the future is quite bleak. But it's overplayed. Do you know what I mean? There's people who are like, back in me, you wouldn't get away with that nowadays. It's like they get a wee semi every time they do that. Like, what, theirs was better. The show, I think it's called Brass Eye. Yeah, Brass Eye with Chris Morris. He did a few shows, but the one Brass Eye, right?
Never heard of it in my life.
It's brilliant, man. It's not super old, but it is quite a few years ago. What he did was there's a few jokes throughout it about paedophiles, right? And then he made this one episode, because at the time he called the episode Pedomania, right? Because at the time there were so many news articles that were all sensationalist, and I suppose because you know pedos are like the bogeyman of the modern day era, right? So he made a full episode dedicated entirely to those kind of jokes. You've seen that one clip, you know, where they say it's like a crime watch CCTV. Said detectives are on the hunt for a paedophile disguised as a school, and it's like a full school, like walking down the street. And people were outraged by the episode. People tried to, they tried to cancel him. That's one of the earlier examples of cancel culture, I suppose.
Yeah.
The term cancel culture has its origins back as far as the 80s or something, though, according to Wikipedia. But that's whatever. I don't really want to segue into that right now. The point is, a lot of people were outraged and trying to cancel him, and they were unsuccessful. And the show went on, and Chris Morris was, he stuck around. They did those kind of shows. People actually kind of bought into what he was saying. They were like, well, yeah, no, this is funny stuff. For all its extreme humour, it's still very funny. And I think that's when people go, you wouldn't get away with that now. No, I think you totally would. If Brass Eye was to come out today, it was like 2001 it came out. If it came out today, I think it would still be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Because the jokes are still relevant, they're still funny. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's actually certain parts of the show that are kind of ahead of its time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, there's parts of it that's kind of reminiscent of like an episode of Black Mirror. That is a great show, that, isn't it?
That is.
When it comes to like the cancelling of shows, even shows that are like beloved shows, loved by millions,
yeah,
you'd think couldn't possibly be cancelled. Some people are still outraged at it.
Aye, like even like Only Fools and Horses and things. We spoke
so
a couple episodes
before. You were talking about it, aye,
about that being like one of the biggest comedies that Britain's ever birthed.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see that, there's certain episodes in that people were outraged with, and that's just with certain things that people said in it that were acceptable back then.
You give me some examples.
No, because I quite like my job. I quite like my dinner.
Right.
I like my freedom.
Right.
I don't want to be cooked up in a room 23 hours a day and 1 hour of exercise every day. So to reply to what you've asked me to do, it's a no.
It's a no.
I'm not saying it.
Fair enough. So it must be pretty bad then, whatever they said.
I would.
Well, by today's standards
these
or
days,
whatever.
it's bad. Back in the day, people.
in
the day, people never had an issue with it for some reason.
It was common. It was common parlance.
It was common. But no, it is.
Right. Okay.
Never get away with it.
Fair enough. I think I know kind of what you're getting at. But that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So it's weird when you think of that, because Only Fools and Horses, of all things, is like. It's like untouchable by any other standards. And I suppose that's because there's not really that much controversial stuff in it, you know? I'm guessing you're just referring to like the language used then?
Yeah,
right?
aye, the language. But I was going to say, even like with Still Game and stuff, like that's like a national treasure. I can remember back when Still Game was on the telly, I was on a bus and there was these two old women in front of me and they were like, "Did you catch Still Game last night, Agnes?" And Agnes was like, "Yes, I did. It was absolutely fucking disgusting." And I was like, "What? No,
two raging grannies."
Aye, I was like, "Not listening. It was hilarious. What are you talking about?" Yeah, grab Agnes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Back in my day, I don't think it's relevant all the time, because back in that day, there was people that would have found it offensive and there was other people that would have loved it. And these days is the exact same. You still get people that love it and other people that don't accept it. So
very true.
It's about finding that line.
Yeah, back in your day, smoking wasn't bad for you. So
that's true. It was recommended.
Yeah. Doctors smoked Camel, and that shit fucking mental.
Yeah,
I remember they showed us that stuff in school.
What stuff?
Like the anti-smoking stuff.
Oh right,
like, here's some smoking advertisements. Yeah. You know, and it was like, you know, doctors recommend Camel, or it's like the Marlboro Cowboy. Can you imagine what smoking advertising would be like if it was like just kind of picking up today with the way social media is?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like people like celebrities being paid to endorse it and stuff. I smoke 60 of these a day and I maintain my figure year round.
Kardashians or something.
Aye. Do you know what I mean? You imagine that kind of advert now. Do you know what I mean? Like Gary Lineker, do you know what I mean? Walking through a field of tobacco, like pulling open a packet and going,
really compliments the cheese and onion.
yeah. Lambert and Butler. Oh, sorry, Walker's filtered. They're absolute.
Salt and vinegar flavoured filters or something.
Salt and vinegar fags. I can't think of anything more. I've just quit smoking, man. That is me. Just a humble brag here. It's not even a humble brag, it's just a brag. I have been off the cigarettes for 17 days.
But he's now smoking, which is essentially electric cigarettes now.
I'm vaping, right?
I'm vaping, said the dickhead.
I did, because I bought the first one, right? I bought the first vape, and it was just like I bought it online, just just the basic one to get me started. I wasn't one for mods and batteries and all that kind of stuff. But eventually it wasn't doing it for me. Do you know what I mean? So I went into the shop and I was like, "Make me a vape wanker," right? And he went, "I've got you sorted, big man.
We don't make vapes here, and don't call me a wanker."
And it. And then he kind of like, so I'm like, "Make me a vape wanker," right? And he went, "I've got you sorted," right? And it's like, he went into the cupboard and I swear to fucking God, man, he brought out this vape that I'm using now, and it's huge. It's like the kind of thing that two people would have to turn a key to use. Do you know what I mean? The size of this thing, and it is working. So yeah, 16 days and I'm buzzing. That's my day. I just thought I'd get that in there.
Smashing.
Get some karma for the day. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Disgusting.
You got all sorts of flavours of this, man. You got like cherry, raspberry, like fancy mango maniac, tropical terra. You don't get many savoury ones though. Do you know what I mean? They're all really sweet ones.
Like
you don't get
pasty.
like steak and ale pie flavoured vape juice, and I'm thinking there's got to be a market for that.
I would imagine so. Greg's sausage roll.
There'll be a vegan variety.
Aye.
I mean, although we e-liquid, well, no, do you know what? Probably because there's always something. There's always something that makes it not vegan. Like I saw a thing like avocados aren't vegan.
That's right.
Because it has something to do with the way it's
it's growing, the chemicals in the soil.
Something. Aye. It's cool, man. Like that's some die hard sticking to your beliefs kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm all for the belief of if you like it, eat it and enjoy it.
Absolutely. And if other people don't like it, they can just
fuck off.
Not eat it. Right?
All right, aye.
Which actually is a great way of circling back to the point I was making before. Where just because you don't like, someone's sense of humour or jokes that they tell, doesn't mean that they shouldn't be able to tell those jokes, or that you should go around and try and, ruin them over it. Because it is essentially a difference of opinion. For example, right, I despise licorice, right?
Right.
However, if I saw an old woman eating Bassett's licorice all sorts, I'm not going to run up and two-foot her in the shins because of it.
No, because that would be...
Elderly abuse.
Yeah.
Episode 5. No, but for real, man,
that wouldn't be sufficient enough punishment.
No, you've got to take the pension as well, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Give me your pension and your coat. See if you make it home. Right, so we've done a lot of talking today. I think that's us. We're just about done.
Yeah.
Episode 5 is not going to be elderly abuse.
No.
That would probably get cancelled.
Yeah. Our lawyers wasn't having it.
Yeah. So science fiction. Yeah. You can tune in next week. We are now
2 weeks.
Yeah.
You can tune in 2 weeks.
Aye.
You can tune in next week if you want, but you'll be tuning into nothing.
Aye. This is a fucking car crash, man. Right, what I was saying was we are now on YouTube, on Spotify, and fucking Apple. I figured it out. I had to put a payment method on and go and download some stuff, and they want a pound of flesh before they let you use their platform. Yeah, that is it.
Cool.
Thank you very much for listening, guys. If you got this far, this was a heavy one. And without further ado, good night. Two fights, between two fights, you got two fights, between two fights, you got two fights. Ow!
Good night.